Hey there, legends! Mr. Polti here, founder of Wizards, more than 15 years of experience in the video game industry, and proud survivor of more late-night crash tests than I care to admit. Today, we are diving headfirst into crash games, those wild little rockets that turn the gambling industry upside down. We're talking about concept and math, dev stack and fairness, features players actually care about, and the business behind the boom. This isn't a slot skin with wings. It's a high-speed, high-stakes, multiplayer dopamine dispenser. And if you build it right, it can also be a revenue rocket. So buckle up, because today we are building a crash game from scratch and avoid having it crash in your face. Let's crash strategically. Alright, let's start with the rocket fuel behind the entire genre. The concept. A crash game is beautifully simple. You bet a multiplier starts climbing from 1x and you cash out before it crashes. If you do, you'll win your bet times that multiplier. If you wait too long and it explodes, boom! Your money vanishes faster than your crypto portfolio in 2022. It's a psychological knife fight between greed and fear. And that's exactly why players love it. Why does this format hit so hard? Because it's the perfect balance of simplicity and chaos. No rules to memorize, no symbols to decode, just a line that goes up and a button that screams, "Trust issues go here." It's instant action with a hint of strategy, all wrapped in a few seconds of adrenaline. Millennials and Gen Z eat it up. Fast, flashy, social, and slightly self-destructive. Basically TikTok, but for betting. Now, if you're designing one of these dopamine bombs, your job isn't just to draw a line and hope for the best. You need to build anticipation. That means to pick a theme that's instantly readable. A rocket taking off, a balloon inflating, a spaceship racing toward a black hole, anything that sells the drama of how high can it go before disaster. Visual and audio feedback should be tuned like a thriller soundtrack. Alarms, a rising pitch, motion blur, and when the crash happens, make it feel catastrophic. Don't just fade out, explode. Add social elements, live bet feeds, chat boxes, emotes, let players celebrate, shame, and scream together. Misery and glory love company. And most importantly, nail the loop. After every crash, show results fast and jump right into the next countdown. The player should barely have time to breathe or question life choices before the next round begins. A great crash game doesn't just run on math. It runs on emotion. Suspense, regret, greed, relief, and a deeply irrational belief that this time they'll click at the perfect second. That's your foundation. Keep it clean, fast, and evil in just the right way. Now let's go under the hood and talk math. Welcome to the part that separates the real devs from the slot reskin factory, the math. This is where your crash game either becomes a trusted hit or a Reddit scandal with a graph proving it's rigged. Let's start with the basics. RTP, return to player. This is the percentage of total wagered money that goes back to players over the long run. Most crash games live between 95% and 99% RTP. That means your house edge is 1 to 5%. Seems small? Not when players are placing bets every 6 seconds. At scale, that tiny edge becomes a river of revenue. Just ask Aviator. They printed over $14 billion in wagers in a single month. You do the math. Actually, I already did, but go ahead and pretend. So how does the crash actually happen? Mathematically, most games use a right-skewed distribution, usually an inverse exponential model. Translated to human, lots of low multipliers, some juicy meats, and a tiny chance of hitting the moon. For a game with 99% RTP, your chance of surviving past 2 times is 49.5%. Want to hit the 10x? That's around 9.9%. Still feeling lucky, but this isn't just math class, it's about player psychology. You're tuning the emotional thermostat here. Too many low crashes, players rage quit and blame lag. Too many big wins, you're bleeding money. Mix of the two, that's the sweet spot. They keep chasing the dragon, remembering the one time they hit 72x on a Tuesday at 3 AM. Now let's talk RNG, a random number generator. If you're targeting crypto casinos, you better bring provably fair to the table. That means cryptographic seeds, hash verification, and a system players can audit post-round to make sure you didn't pull a fast one. Use a server seed, client seed, hash it, reveal it, boom, trust built. If you're in regulated markets instead, you'll need certified RNGs from labs like GLE or iTech. Either way, if your randomness isn't bulletproof, you're building a bomb. Security tip, never trust the client. Don't let the front end hold the outcome or figure out the crash point. That's like hiding the casino vault behind a shower curtain. Keep RNG on the server, encrypt everything, and double check that no one, not even your QA guy, can peek ahead. And one more thing, latency fairness. In multiplayer crash, players from around the world are all betting at once. If someone with lag can't cash out because your game doesn't buffer requests, you've got a rage ticket and a chargeback waiting in support. Always pad that final cash out window. 50 millions can save your ass and your reputation. Bottom line, your Crash Game's math and fairness system are its brain and spine. If the math is off, it won't make money. If the fairness is shady, it won't keep players. Get both wrong and your game's not crashing, it's burning. Alright devs, time to roll up the sleeves, ignore your backlog, and build something that's very cool. We've got the concept, we've got the math. Now let's turn that crash fantasy into browser-based reality. Step 1. Tech stack. Use HTML5 plus Phaser.js, period. Why? Because it runs everywhere. Phones, tablets, smart fridges, probably on your Tesla dashboard if you're brave enough. It's lightweight, cross-platform, open source, and fast. Phaser gives you a game loop, asset loading, animations, and input handling. So you can focus on what really matters, making that multiplier climb until it shatters hopes and dreams. If you're thinking of using Unity for a 2D Crash game, stop. You don't need a bazooka to butter your toast. This isn't a 3D metaverse MMO. It's a number going up. Phaser gets it done without killing performance on Grandma's phone. Project structure? Start with 3 simple game states. Betting. Players place bets while a countdown ticks. Playing. Multiplier climbs, tension builds, cash outs fly. Crashed. Round ends, payouts settle, next round loads. Manage these with a state machine or just switchable variables. No need for scene gymnastics. Keep it clean, your multiplier logic. You'll animate a variable like current multiplier, increasing over time in your update loop. It can be exponential, linear, or tweaked to fit your theme. For example, an easing function to make it feel like acceleration. Slow at first, then whoosh. I'll match this to a visual, rocket going up, line on a graph, balloon stretching, whatever sells the boom incoming tension. Cash out button. This is your player's panic switch. It must be responsive, dramatic, and satisfying. When clicked, instantly resolve the win, if not crashed, disable further input, and maybe flash some coins or trigger an animation. Bonus points for a cashed out at 3.27x pop-up that screams validation. Crash detection. Here's where the magic ends. You can either simulate the multiplier and have the server send a crash now event, or preload the crash multiplier encrypted and animate toward it. Both work. Just make sure the crash point and the animation sync perfectly. Nothing kills trust faster than crashing at 530x while the screen still shows 5.29x. Round reset. After the dust settles, show results, reset the state, and start the countdown for the next round. Keep the loop tight. You want players asking, I just want more, while they ignore their dentist appointment. Multiplayer, now it gets spicy. If you are building for multiple players, use WebSockets. Socket.io is great. Server handles bet validation, crash point generation, player balances, and broadcast crash plus payouts. Clients simulate visuals locally but defer logic to the server. Trust no one. Validate everything server-side, especially cash outs. Players will try to cash out after the crash. Don't let them. Or do once, then enjoy your lawsuit. UI, UX notes. Design for mobile first. Big buttons. No tiny sliders. Nobody wants to miss a cash out because their thumb hit the chat icon instead. Animate everything. Multiplier text should pulse. Rocket should shake. Cash outs should feel like a jackpot. Add audio, ticking sounds, whooshes, explosions. Give the player a full sensory roller coaster. Pro tips, use twinning for multiplier and object animations. Clean up memory between rounds or Phaser will eat your RAM. Build a debug mode where you can force crash points to test edge cases. And that's the skeleton of your crash game, coded in JavaScript, powered by tension, and hopefully optimized to run at 60 FPS on a McDonald's touchscreen. Let's talk about important features. Alright, you've got a working crash game. It goes up, it explodes, it pays out, sometimes. Congrats, you've built a minimum viable dopamine dispenser. But if you want to compete with the big dogs, Aviator, JetX, Spaceman, you'll need more than a spinning number and a panic button. Let's break down the must-haves and the you better have them too or players will bounce features. Auto cash out, these ones are essential. Players love to set a cash out target and walk away feeling clever. It's also the only reason they survive when the crash happens 0.2 seconds after their blink. Let them input a multiplier, e.g. 5x, and cash them out instantly when it's hit. Combine this with manual override. If they change their mind and want to bail earlier, give them that control. Bonus tip, let them save presets for favorite cash outs. It's easy UX that feels pro. Curve and speed customization. How fast should the multiplier climb? Linear, predictable, less intense, accelerating, more drama, more chaos. The visual curve defines the personality of your game. Rocket themed, accelerate that sucker. Balloon, maybe slow and tense. And whatever you choose, sync your visuals. Don't let the multiplier say 12x while the rocket's still halfway up the screen. Okay, that's how trust dies. Dual bets and splits strategies. Let players place 2 bets at once with different strategies. Maybe one safe bet, auto at 2x, and one wild ride. Manual, no cash out. It doubles the engagement, makes them feel like a strategist, and boosts bet volume. Just don't clutter the UI. On mobile, use a tab system or collapse sections. Keep it clean. Leaderboards and achievements. Gamblers are competitive. Even the introverts want to flex. Round leaderboard, who cashed out the highest this round. The session leaderboard, most rounds won, biggest single payout, etc. Badges, cashed out at 100x, the 5 wins in a row, survive 10 crashes without crying. These add retention and bragging rights. Easy to implement, big reward. Live chat and social vibes. You want players to feel like they're in a digital sportsbook bar, cheering, swearing, posting memes. Add a live chat panel, even with emojis or sticker packs. Moderation? Good luck, but worth it. If full chat is too much, add quick reaction buttons or an animated win feed. Player 123 cashed at 7.4x. Optional but brilliant. Let players share wins on social media. Nothing says viral like a tweet that screams, "I turned $3 into $200 on Jet to Hell." Mobile first UI, make everything tab friendly. Big buttons, high contrast, no tiny sliders. Design vertical layouts by default. Most crash sessions happen on phones, one-handed while pretending to listen in meetings. Let players place bets fast. Access chat if you have it. Cash out instantly. Use test devices from 2018 and budget Androids. If it runs smooth there, you're gold. Skins and custom themes, B2B mode on. If you're planning to license this game to multiple casinos, build it to be reskinnable. Change the background, rocket sprite, sound effects, logo. Bonus for players, unlockable themes. Dark mode, retro arcade skin. Space cut mode, go nuts. Cosmetic tweaks, increase retention without affecting balance. Partial cash out. Want to get fancy? Offer 50% cash out options. Player bets $10, takes $5 out at 2x, lets the other $5 ride. It adds strategy, it adds tension, and when done right, it keeps players in the game longer. And this is what made Spaceman stand out. More control equals more addiction potential. Just make sure your backend handles the math correctly. Jackpots and bonuses. If you really want to stand out, include a progressive jackpot. 1% of every bet goes to the pot, and it randomly drops on a win above 20x or whatever you pick. Or add bonus events. Every 100 rounds, launch a golden round where max multiplier doubles. These mechanics spice up gameplay and give players an excuse to keep betting through cold streaks. The golden rule? Don't sacrifice simplicity for gimmicks. Crash players want tension, speed, and that sweet moment of glory. Every feature you add should enhance that, not turn it into a tutorial-heavy mess. Now that your game is fun and feature-rich, let's take a break from code and peek into the minds of the people you're building it for. Alright, let's stop talking like devs and start thinking like players. Because if you don't understand who you're building for, you're not making a crash game, you're just making math with colors. What players really want. In one word, control. Crash players want to feel like they're in charge. They're not just clicking, spin, and praying, they're deciding when to cash out. It's that illusion of control that makes the genre so sticky. Even when they lose, they think, next time I'll click earlier or later or both. They also crave emotion, fast rounds, instant rewards, constant suspense, and community. Seeing others play and win makes it feel real. That this is more than a slot machine. It's a digital coliseum, and the crowd matters. Emotional hooks. Crash games are a psychological buffet. Every round triggers something primal. Greed. The number keeps going up, so does the dream. Fear. Crash is coming. You just don't know when. FOMO. Others cashed at 12x. You bailed at 1.8x. You could have been a legend. Regret. You cashed out early. It soared. You held too long. It exploded. Either way, your brain says play again. Some games even show you could have won $78 after a low cash out. A passive-aggressive reminder that hurts so good. Use with care unless you are marketing emotional damage. Player archetypes. Know your users. You'll meet all sorts at the crash table. Here are the big four. The cautious casher. Always takes 1.5 to 2x. Grinds small wins, plays forever. Will survive the apocalypse. The high roller. All in, no auto cash out, chasing 100x dreams. Usually busts hard, but when they hit, it screenshots for days. The analyst. Watches graphs, reads multipliers, has a spreadsheet, loves data, hates surprises. At stats, they'll love you. The socializer, low bets, high chat. Just here to vibe, brag, and drop emojis. Keep your chat panel clean and visible. Design for all of them. Preset buttons for cautious players, leaderboards for high rollers, stats for analysts, and full chat for your meme lords. Sessions, peak times, and distribution habits. Crash games are fast, and players fall into the just one more round loop. Some drop in for 5 rounds, others play 200 in a night. Peak hours, evenings and weekends. Same as Netflix and Regret. Distribution channels, many players bounce in from sportsbooks during a halftime, crypto casinos, streamers, Twitch and TikTok, and Discord communities want retention, add social features, want reach, or make your game easy to share and stream. Crash thrives where the people talk. Responsible gambling features. Crash is intense, like energy drink before midnight intense. So don't just feed the fire. Build some guardrails, session reminders. You've played 50 rounds, take a breather, champ. Loss, win limits. Let players set their own stop signs, reality check timers, hourly pop-ups to ground their experience. Cool off suggestions, encouraging breaks before tilt becomes toast. And these aren't just regulatory checkboxes, they're good UX. Players who feel protected are more likely to return and recommend your game. Let's take off our dev hats and put on the business glasses. And this part's all about knowing your audience, because if you don't know who's playing Crash games, you might as well be launching rockets in the dark. Who's playing? Crash isn't your grandpa's blackjack. This is a Gen Z millennial playground, mostly 20s and 30s, mobile first, crypto savvy, and not interested in slot machines that look like grandma's curtains. These players grew up with video games, social apps, and stocks that look like slot graphs. And guess what? Crash is basically a stock graph that explodes. Perfect fit. They want speed, control, excitement, and something to share on TikTok between memes. Crash also attracts sports bettors looking to kill time between matches, crypto traders who see volatility and think home, arcade-style gamers who want quick, high-risk action. Where are they playing? Here's your Crash World Tour. India, Crash is the hottest casino product in India. Aviator went full Bollywood. Massive mobile user base, young population, and fast-growing betting culture. Brazil and LATAM. Brazil loves Crash. In 2024, JetX and Aviator topped the charts. Latin America in general is booming with mobile-first social casino players. Eastern Europe and CIS, Aviator was born here. Ukraine, Georgia, Romania, all power players in the Crash arena. Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, mobile betting hotspots with growing demand. HTML5 Crash games run even on budget phones. Perfect fit. USA, emerging. Regulated casinos are just warming up to Crash. It doesn't fit neatly into slots or tables, but states like NJ and MI are starting to open the doors. Aviator's UFC, WWE deals, that's them aiming at Uncle Sam's market. Canada already has Crash in some provinces like Ontario. It's coming. Southeast Asia, growing interest via crypto casinos. Big potential if localized right. And don't forget the crypto community, not a country, but absolutely a Crash nation. They demand provably fair systems, and they don't blink at 100x bets. If your game runs on blockchain or plays well in crypto casinos, you're tapping into a global audience of degen warriors. Mobile is king. Localization is queen. If your game isn't mobile first, you're playing yourself. The majority of Crash traffic comes from mobile devices, designed for thumbs, to keep the UI vertical, optimized for bad Wi-Fi, test on budget phones. And localization isn't just translation, it's cultural tailoring, multiple currencies, right to left support, the theme variations that work in different markets. Want to go global like Aviator? Your game needs to speak every language and vibe in every culture. So your Crash game isn't just a product, it's a passport to global revenue. If you design for the right people, in the right place, with the right phone in their hand. Before you build your Crash game thinking, I'm the next Elon of gambling, take a seat and meet the titans that already did it. These are the Crash games that didn't just launch, they went orbital. Let's break them down, see what made them tick and learn from their genius. Aviator, Spribe, the OG jet that went global, the Coca-Cola of Crash. If you've heard of one, it's this one. Launched in 2019 by Spribe, Aviator turned a red cartoon plane into a $14 billion monthly bet machine. What made it take off? Massive distribution, over 2,000 casinos. Spribe didn't build a game, they built a network. Provably fair, and the crypto crowd loved it. Trust equal loyalty. Simple but social, live chat, emojis, flex culture, is a game and a show. Brand deals. UFC and WWE slapped their logos on it. Suddenly, it wasn't just a game, it was a brand. Lesson? Keep it simple, make it viral. And if you can put your logo in a wrestling ring, do it. Bustabit, the OG. Born in the crypto trenches in 2014, Bustabit was ugly, minimal, and perfect for Bitcoin whales. Why it worked? Probably fair pioneer, before it was cool. Data lovers paradise, graphs, stats, even APIs for auto betting bots. Community first, the chat was always alive. It felt like a digital casino pit with memes. Lesson? You don't need fancy graphics if your math and trust model are bulletproof. JetX from SmartSoft Gaming. This one took the Crash formula and added fireworks. Think Jet meets arcade machine, what they nailed. Mega multiplier moments. Claimed a legendary 1,000,001x round. Probably myth, but who cares? People love a dream. Jackpots, random, tiered, and sticky. Design, a retro-futuristic pixel vibe with explosions. Players felt like they were inside a crypto arcade. Lesson, spectacle sells. If your game feels like it belongs on Twitch, you're on the right track. Spaceman, pragmatic play. The polished pro. When a slot giant enters the chat, you pay attention. Spaceman brought corporate-grade polish to the Crash format. Their differentiator, partial cash out. Take 50% and let the rest ride. Smart, strategic, retention. Colorful, friendly UI. Appeals to casuals. It's less crypto degen, more Crash for humans. Mass distribution. Pragmatic already had deals with half the planet. Lesson, innovation doesn't have to be wild. A single mechanic, if done right, can make your game stand out. Let's see other notable ones. F7 Fighter, only play 2 bets per round, plus military jet, plus explosions, plus progressive jackpot, extra AF. Aviatrix, NFT-based crash game. Players fly their own tokenized planes. Too early to judge, but if Web3 sticks, they're first in line. Cash or crash, the evolution. Live dealer format is based on the same cash out or bust mechanic. TV show vibes, 99.6% RTP and Vegas production value. Lesson, there's no single blueprint. Some went viral with simplicity, others with features, others with themes. But all of them understood this, a crash game lives or dies by trust, attention, and community. Nail those 3, and the rest is UI glitter. Okay, you've got your concept, your math, your Phaser.js magic. But here's the real question. Is a crash game a good business? Spoiler, hell yes, if you play it right. Market demand, not a niche, a gold rush. Crash games aren't a fad. They are one of the fastest growing verticals in online gambling. In some markets, they're already beating traditional slots in daily plays. And why? They're viral, they're watchable, they're mobile first. And they hit that sweet spot between luck and strategy. Aviator alone hit 14 billion wagered in a single month. If that number didn't make you sit up straight, check your pulse. New game, new audience. Crash doesn't cannibalize your existing slot crowd, it brings in sports bettors, crypto gamblers, younger players who think roulette is boomer stuff, streamers and their entire Discord armies. That's new revenue, not recycled coin. Why operators love crash games? If you're selling your game to platforms, here's your pitch. Sticky UX equals more sessions, so quick rounds, higher bet frequency. Community chat, leaderboards, better retention. Fast onboarding, lower churn, mobile friendly equals larger audience. Also, a crash is perfect for promos, branded events, or exclusive tournaments. It's a marketer's dream. Monetization, more than just house edge. Yes, you make money on the spread. The usual 1 to 5% edge baked into the RTP, but that's just the surface. Jackpots, slice a percent of each bet to feed a growing prize. Tournaments, reward top multipliers or biggest wins. Skins UI reskins, sell branded versions to casinos. Referral loops, add one-click sharing. Acquire players for free, in-app purchases for social versions. Sell coins, avatars, emojis, the whole vanity kit. And don't forget the viral multiplier. Every time a player shares 100x cash out on social, that's free user acquisition. Show me the money per player revenue. Let's get spicy with numbers. Say you've got 100 players betting $5 per round, one round every 15 seconds, and that's $2,000 per minute. At 2% house edge, you'll $40 revenue per minute, $2,400 per hour. Scale that across multiple lobbies and time zones. Welcome to Casino SaaS, scalable, 24/7 global revenue, how to stand out and scale globally. You're not the first, but you can be the smartest. To compete, build a standout feature, partial cash out, jackpot mode, social reactions, offer localizations, currencies, languages, themes, make it reskinable for brands, launch on both real money and social platforms, Web 2 and the Web 3. Partner with influencers and streamers to show it off. Crash games are not just games, they're engines. You build it once, you scale it everywhere. Bottom line, a great crash game doesn't just entertain, it earns. And if you do it right, it can become the anchor product in a casino's portfolio. You bring in the dopamine, the players bring the money, everybody wins. Well, except during the actual crash. Alright, future crash overlords, let's bring this bird in for landing with a few last pointers. The kind that come from shipping 100 plus games and breaking at least a dozen along the way. Tip 1, make it fun or don't bother. Yeah, we've talked math, fairness, markets, but none of it matters if your game is boring. If it doesn't spark adrenaline, curiosity, or just a let's go again, your multiplier might climb, but your retention won't. Before launch, ask yourself, would you play this game 10 times in a row? If the answer isn't hell yes, go back to the whiteboard. Tip 2, be fair. Players aren't stupid, and you're not running a street hustle behind a gas station. Be transparent with RTP, show provably fair seeds if you're in crypto, and make sure wins feel real and reachable. Trust is currency. And in Crash, the second a player feels scammed, they're gone. And they are taking their entire Discord with them. Tip 3, start small, iterate fast. Your first version doesn't need 9 jackpots and a mini game where the rocket turns into a Doge NFT. Launch lean. Focus on rock-solid gameplay, clean math, and one killer feature. Test it, tweak it, watch players. Iterate based on actual human behavior, not what your cousin thinks is cool. There you have it, the full crash course on building a Crash game that's fast, fair, and profitable. Remember, fun first, fairness always. Build for players, not your ego. And for the love of JavaScript, log your errors with something more helpful than undefined exception. Mr. Polti here, founder of Wizards, more than 15 years of experience in the video game industry, and your friendly neighborhood gambling game wizard. If this helped you, like, share, subscribe, or just shoot me a message with your wildest multiplier. And if your game takes off, just remember where you got the blueprint. Until next time, may your rockets fly high and your test builds never crash, unless they're supposed to.